Hi everybody, I hope you're all doing well. I'm doing a psychic session for clients. I'm going to be sharing psychic wisdom and energy healing. If any of you are interested in exploring a session with me, you can do so at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. I want to thank you so much for the opportunity to connect with you today. Thank you so much for sharing with us here on YouTube. Really interesting goals. Okay, I'm going to read these out loud and get started. All right, so you say, "Hi Abby, I would like to look into why I struggle with romantic relationships. I once had a psychic tell me that I have an etheric level marriage on the astral plane that prevents me from finding romantic love here in the physical realm. I would love to explore this and heal anything that is needing healing and release. I am open to anything that comes through that can provide the highest healing for my spirit. Thank you so much for your time and help." All right. So you have an etheric marriage, huh? I want to go meet your partner. Ready to find romantic love here in the physical world. I mean, you're worthy of that. Okay. Gonna relax and get started here. Thank you again so much for sharing with us. All right, here we go. So basically, I'm just saying, what is the delay here in you finding romantic love in the physical world? And what is this about an etheric marriage? Yeah, show us some stuff here. Okay, the first scene is like this. It really bothers my breath. There's a lot of mud, and the mud kind of comes over my face and it comes across my chest and down, and it hits me right. I feel it in my solar plexus, emotional gut. I feel it in my heart. It's interesting looking because it's like a mud substance, but it has a silvery hue to it. So it shines. And so my experience with it is I'm having a hard time breathing. It's really starting to affect at the top of my head and the back of my head. It's starting to affect my ears. I'm trying to understand it. So I'm going to see you as standing here and the mud is on you, okay? And I'm just looking because I can't just wipe it off. What's complicated about this scene is that you're kind of stuffed into a very small space, and the space likes to be vertically upright, horizontally upright, if that makes sense. It likes to be in a sphere, in a ball. And so direction is really complicated in here, and it's too small for you. I mean, it's too... it's like stuffing a human being inside of a purse, you know, it's just way too small. I reach my hand out and I say, it's time to move on. And you cry and you say, no, it is not. And you show me that it's more than just a space you're inside of. There's a energy that basically is like grown upon you and is part of you now. Is kind of what it's like, okay? It's like a turtle has a shell, right? It's part of the turtle. You can't just don't remove the shell. So the turtle's shell is like the purse that the turtle puts itself into, right? But this is a turtle is like a balance, you know, this is not a balance. So I'm vibrationally talking to you right now about everything has a transformation process. And while you're saying that this is growing upon you or this is a part of you, it's not. And I'm trying to understand what you're influencing yourself to believe in something here. And I'm trying to understand what that is, where that's coming from. Because you really feel strongly this is it, okay? I'm starting to look at the bigger picture, and we're in outer space, and you're part of what is like just a asteroid or a clump of some broken planet. I mean, you're a part of a substance that's basically just floating around in space with other bits of substance very similar to your own. And I'm kind of curious to see if there's bodies inside of these as well, or you're the one and only, right? And let's see. There is a planet nearby, and there are many chunks, like the chunk that is growing on you. There's many chunks. It's kind of like Saturn in a way that has the rings, but what are the rings made out of? It's like chunks of dust and rock and stuff. So I see there's kind of a stream of these. And the planet, it is kind of like they're going around a planet, but it seems quite a distance between the stream and then this planet. And as a collective, which is like a flowing river, but it's like rocks that are part of a stream of energy, you all tell me that you're on a path to somewhere, okay? You're going to be guided by this flow, and you're going to arrive to the next destination. I'm really scratching my head here like, wow, this is dumbfounding. Like, you don't have to, you know, like you can leave at any time. Why are you doing this? There are people in this. There are people, parts of rocks in here as well. There's no doubt about it. This isn't just you. This is a collective of others, okay? It's the oddest thing. It's like, imagine a river, just a random river in outer space, but it's made out of rock, and they're part of some kind of space jet stream, okay? And they're flowing on this odd space breeze. And I mean, it's a formed shape like a river. Like, it has boundaries to it. There's nothing really over here. Like, it's a focused path, okay? So I'm just going to go back to you for a moment. We'll figure out what in the world does this have to do with you finding a romantic partner in the physical world. We'll find out what the relationship is between this and your goals, okay? You're not letting go of something. I feel, okay, let's imagine, this is just an idea for right now, okay? We're just gonna work with this idea. Let's imagine that there's a race of beings, and they all agree that, they all agree upon an idea themselves, okay? So the idea is that we have a race of beings that agree upon an idea of how they want to move to the next experience as their race. How they became rocks, I don't know. But let's say that you can change your mind, right? say that you said, yes, I'm going to be a part of this idea along with everybody else. We're all agreeing we're going to be a part of this idea together, okay? You always have the right to change your mind. You know what comes to mind is, you guys remember like the Hale-Bopp comet, the cult where everybody, they all wore the same shoes as well, like some kind of Nike brand. These are just the odd details I recall of this. But they all fell asleep, right? Into a death sleep. But their souls then were going to join this comet, okay? Your soul can leave that choice at any time, okay? Their souls you can leave any choice that you've ever made at any time in all eternity, because it's your life, it's your soul, it's your path, and you have the right to go wherever you want to go and do whatever you want to do. So you can be a part of something, and then you can change your mind and be a part of something else, okay? And the universe is cool with that. And if the others in the group don't like that, that's their issue, not yours, okay? So I'm giving you this information that, okay, so you're all a part of a movement. I still don't understand it, but if any of you would like to transition or move on from this movement, you can. And I'm not sure what comes next, but if you make the choice, then we'll see, okay? They all heard me. They're all having a weird sleep about it. And I hear strange scratchy and clicky noises as they're in a sleep state, and their bodies kind of quiver like this. So there's shaky rocks in this stream of rocks. And you say you will have to die in order to leave. And you have to be okay with that. And you show me an image of what can only be described as like a knife that goes into your gut, and then your body becomes beads of blood, and then you move on in spirit. And it looks pretty painful. It looks like it doesn't feel very good. I say, okay, so what is your decision on this? Okay. You do something vibrationally, and you ask me to be a part of who you are in this buildup, okay, of rock. And so I become a part of you, and you take me into a vision, could be a memory, and it's very peaceful, and there's always light, what it can only be described as light reflecting off blades of grass, and everything seems to glow with light. And there is a man here. It's pretty surreal because there's part of the culture is to actually shave the head just right here. So there's this bald spot here, and then they wear a cloth that wraps around, and the bald spot is always open to the sky, okay? And he has black curly hair, and he's on one knee. This is the weirdest thing, but he puts a marriage ring on your middle finger, okay, on your middle finger. And you have two different skin tones. He's like an Arab man, and you're an African woman, okay? But your skin is like a reddish black. You look so unusual. You look not human. You look beyond. You look something different. Because your head is it's almost like it's too long, and then it kind of comes out like a bulb on top. And then you have no hair. Because there's no hair that grows on your head, okay? You're a hairless form. And your eyes are absolutely dazzling. I mean, It's like an aquamarine color, and it's almost like they glow. I love this place. You say you don't want to leave this place. And vibrationally, I tell you that it feels to me like a real experience, but it also feels like it's in the distance, like a memory. And if it is a memory, or if it is a real experience, where are you in the reality that we're experiencing together? You are not there, per se. You're in this rock. What I would do is put that as like a photograph and place it in your heart and carry the light from that photo inside yourself and let it glow throughout you. Because you can't be projected. This is okay. So the next thing about this is as I take this image and I turn it into like a basic photograph, and then I place it into your heart as this rock around you, and then I turn it all into light that glows. I feel vibrationally like a part of your energy is almost like a liquid that is interdimensionally connected between this photo and then yourself here. And you literally are standing in two experiences at the same time. And everything about this says no. Okay, everything about this says no. You're not in that experience is a no. Okay, believe it or not. I'm open-minded, but everything is saying no about that. And I am not sure how to get your energy to come back into yourself. I'm still working on this because I want to talk to you about planet Earth. I just want to see what your thoughts are about something that's familiar to us here, the present day. See what you think about that. And my guides say to do that now, and we'll figure this out as the next step. So I'm going to just say, okay, we're as far as we need to go here about this. I want to tell this you in the rock, right? I want to show you Earth and yourself here on Earth, okay? And see what this you has to say about that. You instantly become gasp, and you're very uncomfortable, and you start to feel like you're going to fall. And I make Earth and all that disappear for a moment because you're pretty startled. I say, are you okay? You're not going to fall. You say, yes, I am, 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 yes, I am. I say, would that be a bad thing? Maybe that's the next step. No, 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 no. And I show you the conversation we had about the knife stabbing and the beads of blood. You become like crystal sickles. Like if your tears become ice, become crystallized, they're like little sickles, like would hang from your roof, right? In the middle of winter, they're like sickles, crystal sickles, and they start to come out of you. Just like the rock that grows on you, these start to come out of you. And as they come out of you, they start to touch others in the stream. And they start to, once they get touched by one of these, they start to get scared and overwhelmed. Like there's an infection now in the stream that shouldn't be here. And they're starting to scream. And you're shaking and crying. And as you continue to shake and cry, you keep releasing these out. And they kind of also remind me like the dandelion, when you blow on it, the little seeds that kind of go in every direction, you know? They kind of remind me of that too. But they're vibrationally like an infection, because infection is going to change everything here. Is it going to make people sick, or is it going to create change? an inevitable and a very good change. It feels like everybody just has fallen asleep in this never-ending stream, and I see the stream as part of a consciousness of movement, and as the consciousness changes its direction or its mind, then the stream changes. But I don't see an end to this, because the consciousness hasn't decided what the end of the stream looks like. Like, we're going to arrive at this destination, and this is the new experience we're all going to have. It's almost like we're going to get into the stream. It's almost like getting into our little pods, and then we're going to all fall asleep and wait until someone finds us, or wait until the universe says whatever happens next. But nobody had some kind of idea, a collective idea of the purpose or the point. It's like, oh, we'll just get in our pods and then just see what happens. Trillion years later, nothing is happening because there's no conscious, collective conscious this decision making. It's like everybody's turning into these rocks and sleeping, and it's just kind of like in a meditative state. I love these sickles because this is the most energetic activity I feel the stream has had in a very long time. And I can feel that this stream as a whole is like a heart, and the heart stopped beating, or what it was beating was extremely slow. It's almost like everything became boring and fell asleep. I see the sickles are going and dispersing in every direction. They're hitting a lot of these around you, but they're not going past a certain distance. It's up to those ones that are out there to feel moved by the sickles in order to create their own, in order to reach those at greater distances. I'm still snapping my fingers, and I say, it's time to wake up from this. It's time to move on from that scene. Let's try Earth again, shall we? But I don't just share this image with you, I share it with all the others that had gotten sickles, okay? These crystal sickles. I'm supposed to call it that. You go back to being the woman with the beautiful eyes, this reddish black skin, and the ring on the middle finger. And she seems to be the head mind because she sends you information back. I still feel this is way out of balance. I am literally, through that communication right there, I'm literally pulling her and I'm placing her in your feet, head, shoulders, and everything. But she kind of laughs and shows me that there's nothing I can do, because she has the power of choice. I say, but so does this you in the rock, has the power of choice. And I ask this you in the rock if you want to be one with her again. I say this stream is forever, that scene isn't going to change. And I feel like she's actually afraid of something, and that's why she stays there for as long as she can. And maybe that's why you stay in the stream for as long as you can, because there's something that you're afraid of. And it doesn't have to be, it could be the fear of something different, something, I mean, I don't know how to define it yet. It's a resistance, it's an avoidance kind of fear, okay? And you start to become more and more resistant, and you start to create more rock around you. So you're like inside of a circular shell of rock, and you tell me to go away, go away, go away, go away, go away. I'm like pestering your your peaceful dream. I'm disrupting everything. I'm creating a problem. And this tall woman laughs again and says, see, that I don't have the power to change anything. So I look at the man and I show him everything I've seen thus far, and the woman that he put the ring on her finger, I say, this is what her existence is in another experience. And I say, this is what she's told me. This is what happens when I show her this other planet. These are the crystal sickles. This is the strange stream. I say, you're a part of the story. What do you make of it? What is your choice? He says he's mesmerized and he'll never leave you. That's not actually coming from his heart. That's coming from like a hypnosis or something. So I'm going to open up the scene of you and Earth, as though you and the power that you are here and the power of your goals is the power of choice. And what you desire to experience here is powerful. You have the power of choice. That doesn't have to be influenced by other choices made in other lives and other dimensions and other parallel places, right? You choose what you want to experience, and that can affect them, and that's fine. So I'm showing them Earth, and I'm showing them your goals, and I'm showing them your voice, and I'm showing the power of you. All right, I'm starting to figure something else out here. This is wonderfully complicated. All right. So I can only describe time has stopped, although it has not. But there's a massive being on the other side of this communication. And this being is huge, okay? Cosmically huge, but not cosmically awesome, all right? It's more like a bump on the log. Like, I find it to be vibrationally boring. There's not much interesting energy going on here with this big being. It reminds me of heaviness. You guys ever wake up in the morning and you just really don't want to do it today? And you just feel heavy and like you wish you could just go back to bed, but realistically it's also not really what you want to do either. But you just feel this like heaviness that's just pulling you down, and you're just going to go with it, okay? This density is like that feeling. You're just feeling heavy for no explainable reason and influenced to do nothing. It's what it represents, that dense energy. And it's quite convincing, okay? And I feel that this being's boring, exhausting, dense energy is like a blanket of comfort on this stream, and is influencing this stream of many to stay in this state. Stay in this state. You'll get there eventually. You'll get there. Just stay in this state and things will just find their way. That really, this master manipulator is silencing the collective thought. And so there isn't anywhere that anybody's ever going to go. They're just stuck. All these souls are basically stuck without realizing it. And she doesn't realize that she too is hypnotized by this. So she too is stuck. And who knows? Part of you might be somewhat hypnotized by this because of the other yous that are. You say you're not. Hey, you're very firm with that. You stand on earth, it's just like mighty you. And then you say, I am not influenced by that. And you put your foot down. You literally stamp one foot, like stomp it down to the ground. You say, I am not like that, okay? And I'm laughing because I like that. And this very strong-willed you, right? With the reddish-black skin. She is becoming kind of like a mannequin, like she's starting to realize that she's been stuck for a long time and always in this place, always in this memory, always in this moment. Nothing ever changes, nothing ever moves. And something of this moment has drawn her into it to stay in it forever, like trying to take one of the best memories of your life and put it in a crystal ball and then just go into it and never leave it. It's like the one thing that you have to hold on to, right? And then to live in that. She doesn't want to leave it though. And I say you do though, because you always have this memory. You can always revisit it any time. That you need to be in motion. You need to be doing something different. This other you in the rock, come on. All the others that are becoming these rocks, come on, no. You see how there's no collective thought? They're not going anywhere, neither are you. And this you from Earth is saying, I'm going places. Wake up, you two. Come on. You actually asked me, as this reddish black woman, you say, what do I do? I say, what do you do? I want you to tell me from your heart what your inner voice is guiding you to do. She says it's going to require pain. I said, that's interesting. The other you said the same thing in the rock. She said it was going to require pain. She says it's going to feel cold. She says she doesn't want to feel those ways. So then she stays here where it's safe. I show her it's kind of like if I never got out of bed for the rest of my entire life, because it's just safer under the blankets where I'm in bed, and I don't have to take the risk of even standing and then go brush my teeth and eat some breakfast and maybe screw something up today, you know. I stay in bed. I do nothing in bed. Just stay there and let my mind wander or sleep and dream. You have to be in motion now. You're being called to be in motion by the you that's on earth is calling you to be in motion. I'm asking your higher self, okay, your higher self points at you on earth, and so I ask you and I say, okay, what do you want for them? What do you want for these two? You're calling the shots now for yourselves. You give a flower that has like 4 petals, and they're really tiny, and they're white petals, but they're kind of yellowy too. It's very delicate, very dainty flower, but there's some kind of high vibe meaning to it, and you hand it to her, and you place it inside of her shell, okay? And she's scared, and she cries inside of this shell. And she's afraid of this flower and what it's asking her to do. I say trust in the flower. Just let yourself trust in the flower. And as I see you in the rock, trust in the flower, I see the tall one with the reddish black skin is very nervous about this. It's weird, the weirdest thing to watch this. You basically fall apart, and chunks of you are, it's the weirdest thing. It's like some flakes and chunks of your living essence start to chunk off and fall off and even become frozen stone, but that kind of breaks and it just starts to disperse in different directions. But this flower, it's almost like it becomes stale inside of just a rock. And my guides asked me to place sunlight in there with the flower. And so the flower can experience the rays of sunlight, and the flower can represent light. And the light can guide you home, this part of you. And I say, I do all of that, by the way. I'm saying, what about this other? She is part of what's holding up you in the stream. She's not wanting to go. She's part of this death and rebirth phase. She's part of this. That's why it's like I'm warming the flower. I am allowing light to develop inside the rock. I'm allowing this you inside the rock that's flaking and chunking off, and all your pieces to feel the light within. I'm allowing the light to flow through this you and into the you inside the sunny place, okay? I'm going to allow this light to flow into this big dense being that seems to be influencing all the sleeping others in their rocks. And I'm going to allow all of this to just become full of light. And I'm going to tell you here on earth that you inspired this light. You created this change. You manifested this. You're the master that gave this gift. Still very slow paced in my opinion. And I'm working on amplifying the sound, amplifying the density of it, amplifying the influence it, amplifying, creating time, creating millions of years of time have passed. It's like somehow, how did you have the power to influence this change? You are influencing this change. And why does it feel like you're inside a little tiny bottle? How did that happen? I'm asking, what is this? I'm breaking you out of this bottle. I take you and you're just a tiniest little bottle, like 1 inch in size, and I just smash you on a little rock. And then I help you grow really large so you can be seen across the entire earth, and that all the people, all the souls here can know you and see you. They can smell you and sense you and be aware of you, that you're not invisible. That you are present here on earth. I am present here on earth. I am visible. I am seen. I am felt. I am experienced. Yeah, this is good. I'm having you say it now. It's starting to implode everything I've seen. I say let it be in pain. Let it be whatever. It has to change. It has to go through a change. It has to change. It has to go through it. And as it goes through it, it brings the energy back to you, and you become more present here on earth and more visible to the whole world. It's almost like your energy was not visible to people. This is struggling. It's like suffocating, but it's imploding. It doesn't want to feel pain, and that's what's holding it up. It has to endure a sensation of pain. It just does. It's just part of the process here with this scenario. So I start with the pain is just a paper cut. And I allow a paper cut to be felt as the pain of this death. Believe it or not, that paper cut is like 1,000 knife wounds and cutting you to pieces, okay? Just a little paper cut of pain is too much pain for this. And so I have to amplify the sound of the paper cut, because this is safe. This is a safe pain. And there starts to be screaming and tormented souls, and everybody is suffering. But the more that this pain is felt, the more that I amplify it, the more all these rocks are starting to be affected, and these people are starting to come alive, and they're all getting pulled into a weird space where they have to go through an experience of pain. And they're all basically screaming, but I mean, the pain to us as a human being is like a paper cut. Yeah, it sucks. It's not the end of the world, but to them, it's like they're being burned from the inside out. It's being like they're being tortured in some extreme way. But the more they endure the pain, they all do, and she does, because this man is starting to be flaky, like he was just part of a dream or part of an idea. It's all starting to get flaky, okay? And so she is getting pulled and still resisting the other you. And everything is getting pulled into this space where all these souls are kind of in this hell and they're screaming. But you're becoming more breathable. You're becoming larger, more visible. You're becoming more present here. You're actually absorbing their energies and their time and their lives and their experiences, because they need to transition. This has been holding on for way too long. It's overdue. It's a long overdue library book. Needs to come back. It's been 20 years. Come on now. Like, it is long overdue. And this is now sending the energy back into you. So you're voluptuously present. Like you're colorful like a peacock. I feel you. Like I feel you. You have a perfume. I can smell you. Like you smell like a beautiful garden. Like you're becoming here, okay? You're becoming here. I'm gonna just create lots of experiences like, yes, you're falling. Yes, you know, all this pain. Like, yes, you're going through a death process. It's gonna be okay. You're gonna make it. I'm here with all of you. I'm here with you. And it's like only maybe 10 of these rocks get pulled into this, but their screaming starts to shake and be heard by the other rocks in the stream. And they're creating influence. They're creating the next step of this destiny, the next step of this process. Perhaps they were all trying to escape death. Perhaps they were all trying to escape pain. And this is where they got. And then they were just in like a grave where they never really died. They just stayed sleeping until they get to the next safe destination. But the part of the thing is they can't escape what you have to experience. So they need to go through an experience in order to then move to the next experience. They have to go through that specific doorway. You can prolong it all you want, but you will go through that doorway. This is, oh man, you have no idea how much better everything feels. What I'm doing is I'm still lingering because I want to see that this is complete. And I love seeing you here on earth becoming so like you were on the other side of the veil. I don't know how that was working, but you're visible here. You're becoming more colorful, you're very colorful. You're undeniably colorful. And you're undeniably fragrant. You're like a beautiful smelling garden. Like, I can sense you, I can see you, I can smell you. I know it sounds weird, but it's good, okay? It's very good. And I tell your guides, my guys, I say, okay, what am I supposed to say to you? What it was all that about? Like, how are we supposed to wrap this up, you know? They say that you on earth here were very giving of your time and of yourself to parts of you that weren't allowing themselves to move on from experiences. They were afraid of the transition. And you were patient because inside yourself you knew that they were afraid. And because you too were a part of them, you then were afraid too. But you went through the life here on earth. You went and endured so much. And being on earth is a painful experience. There's nobody on earth that isn't going to have a complicated something happen, okay? And it'll be emotionally, it'll be mentally painful, it'll be physically painful, whatever. But you come so far in this life that you found safety and security in just living as it is in the world, not perfect. But you became strong in this by living here on earth. You became strong in this, and you, by doing this, gave them the willpower and the safe and security that they needed, that awareness to go through the processes they needed to go through in order to then become whatever they become next, which I feel like their energy is just flowing into you now. Because what they were to become was caught up with themselves, which is through you. You are the future of themselves. Them getting caught up with you is now them being in the present. You weren't meant to stay in the stream. You weren't meant to stay in the memory. You were meant to come and live your life. And you did it here. And now you're pulling yourself back to life, into yourself, and separating from all of that. But somehow this is influential of other souls that you're helping now too. And helping them find the strength as well to know that it is safe to go through the pain in order to then live. Literally. You have so much to be proud of, by the way. You have a lot to be proud of. I just feel like my last message to you is just like wear the story as your like heart of light. Like you wear it, like be proud of yourself. Be proud of your life. Be proud of how your life has influenced other aspects of yourself that in time kind of fell asleep and needed to be reminded to live. Through you living here on earth, you influence them. You're bringing them to life through you. You're impacting other souls. An experience you probably had no idea about. And all of that stuff is starting to just become threads of energy and memory and what was. But it's also coming, I just see it just continues to flow back into you. And as it pulls into you, you're collecting yourselves from other times that were very influential. You're becoming more present in this reality. You're more visible in this reality. It's like you were on the other side of the veil, even though you had the physical body and that you were here and all that. It's like you're coming forward to be present here, to be seen here, to be a participant here, because you always have been, right? You have been a participant. And now you got more of yourself through this. I mean, I can't emphasize enough how colorful you've become, how visible, how good smelling you've become. Like, let yourself be seen. You know what I mean? I don't know if you can't not be seen at this point. This is exactly what you need. This is the answer to your goals. This is what my guides, your guides, higher selves, all the universe of love, right, wants you to have today. Okay, kind of a cool timing because it's just before the new year, and to get a cool message and to receive this kind of energy work is a really great way to start the new year, you know? Thank you very much. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day and Happy New Year.